Okay, so today we're going to start with the so complex systems or complex numbers. And some of you guys already know, those who are taking Algebra 2, probably this is one of the familiar concept or the content. But if you're not aware, like what is the complex numbers are, and again, don't stress too much. I'm going to go slowly so that way you can understand them pretty well. Okay, so complex number system. Complex numbers. So first of all, what is the complex numbers? So any ideas? Anybody know what is the complex number? Yep, there we go. I see some eye. Very good. So imaginary numbers or complex numbers, basically the same. It's complex numbers are basically, let's say, if I want to find out, I'm going to take, I'll take a right here. Okay. So if I want to find a square root of, let me see, I'm going to put it right here, square root of 16. So if I find the square root of 16 is 4, we know that. But what if I want to find out the square root of negative 16? You see that negative 16, it says undefined. So in this one, in this case, it says undefined. That means we cannot find a real numbers, but there is a way we can find the square root of these that is called the complex number system. And that's where they invented the complex number system. Let's say, what if I cannot find the square root of negative 16? How do I write this one? How do I take care of these problems? So that's where the complex number system will start. So let's say if I write it, square root of 4 is 2 or plus or minus 2, and the square root of negative 4 is going to be plus or minus 2. And then you write a little I next to it whenever you have the square root of negative numbers. Okay, good to go. Now, let's see the next part. Okay, so far it's good now. And in order to find the I value, we have some few things to learn. So I square is -1. And then that's where the I is square root of -1. So a square root of -1, we can write as a I. And then I square is -1. And the same way, if I want to expand a little bit more, I can take this. I can take this I square, that's -1. But if I square on both sides, I to the 4th exponent, it's going to be a +1. Okay, so remember these small rules will help you in a big time. Okay, I to the 4th exponent is +1. I to the 2nd exponent is -1, and then I is radical -1. Okay, so it is really important. Technically, if you have the square root of already, it's only positive. I mean, it depends. You take the positive and the negative. Yeah, basically, yes, that's correct. But again, remember that like whenever you find the square root of something, and you always write a positive and plus or minus, basically. Okay, so it has to be a plus or minus because you know the square root of or square of -2 is +4, and also the square of +2 is also +4. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, that's good. So this is a basic complex system. And then what does mean? Why do we need to learn complex system? And what's the point in terms of the math? And this is really key. And a lot of the kids doesn't know, even the teachers doesn't know and doesn't teach this. So I want you to be careful with this. Like I'm gonna pay attention, please. So please pay attention. So it is really important to understand why do we need a complex system. Let's say if I have a quadratic function, right? Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So there are a couple of situations here. So the graph can go touching the x-axis right here, all right? Or the graph can touch at 2 points. Then you have these 2 roots, right? Or this is 1 root. And what if the graph is not touching the axis, and then it's going like this? And there's no roots here. There is no real roots. No real roots. So that's where the imaginary numbers comes into the picture. And also that's where you write all the complex systems and all those things. I was just teaching 2 of these kids today, you know, all the so she's in algebra 2, and I was going over a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing in school, like writing the quadratic polynomials with the i's and, you know, root i's and all those things. So these are problems what we tried today. So this is what part of the that you guys need to learn. Okay, but coming to the SAT, you don't need to deal with like all these big stuff, but there are a lot of simple stuff that we need to understand. Okay, so basically this is what it means. Now next it is coming to the x-axis and y-axis. This is called the real part, and this is called imaginary part. Okay, so just like you know, x and y in complex system, you can call this is the real part, and then this is the imaginary part. Now coming back to the real part and the imaginary part, and complex number or complex number, the general form, like, you know, general form is a, let's go, 1 second. It's not writing. Come on, really? Give me 1 second. For some reason, it's not writing. I'm gonna refresh it. Okay, let me refresh this. Okay, there we go. Hopefully this works. Oh, not even popped up. Okay. Complex number, general form, it's a plus bi. Okay, so a is called real part, and then this part is called the imaginary. Okay, so anytime you write a complex number, you have to write it in this format, a plus bi format. Remember that. And whenever you give your answer, you also need to give it this way only. And there are some simple questions on the test you can get. They can ask you to plot 2 plus 3i. Okay, so if you need to plot 2 plus 3i, all you have to take a, so coordinate plane, and this is this is x and y, but again, in this case, you write it, you say this is real, and this is imaginary. So the 2 goes here, 2 goes here, and then 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is your 2 plus 3i complex number plotting. Okay, if you want to plot the point, that's what you need to do. Good to go? All good? At any point of time, guys, if you don't understand, please don't hesitate to, hey, Mr. Rama, I don't understand, or you can just ask, stop me and then ask me questions. And because, this is for you guys. That's my priority, making sure you guys understand and not somebody else's. So if you don't understand, you speak for yourself, because otherwise, I can move on and then you still doesn't know, and it's not good. Okay. All right. Next one. So now, just like the other number systems, let's say when you learn numbers, like you add numbers and subtract numbers, all those things, right? So the same way, here also we can add numbers, add complex numbers, subtract complex numbers, multiply them, and then divide them. All these questions are the part of the test also. So let's look into the adding, and then we can do some practice questions too. Adding. So adding, let's take, I'm going to take a 3 minus 2i, 2 plus 6i. When I add these two complex numbers, I add the real parts. This is real and this is real. I add these two. And then I add the imaginary parts. I add these two. So that gives me 3 plus 2, that is 5. And then 2i minus negative 2i minus plus 6i, that's going to be plus 4i. Okay, so this is your final answer, 5 plus 4i. That's how you do it. Simple. Okay. Let's see. Same thing with the subtract in the same way. And then same thing, you do the subtraction too, But one thing in a subtraction, you got to be careful with the changing the signs. So let's say subtract 3 minus 2i minus 2 plus 6i. Let's do this one and tell me what you guys think. Subtract and put them in the chat box. Then we can do some practice questions too. Okay, I see some answers. That's good. Okay, so we can do some practice on these simple things, and then we can move from there. I want you to guys work on that, and also the next question I'm going to put right here. Good, I see some answers. That's correct. That's good. So when you do this one, obviously the first step is 3 minus 2i. This is good, but again, you distribute that. That's going to be negative 6i. Now combine like terms, basically. So that's going to be 1 and then minus 8i. Okay. So always write the complex number first. No, the real part first and the complex number. Okay. So that is the important piece in this case. Now let's go ahead and simplify the next one. Be careful with those negative signs. Let's give it a try on this one. See what you guys think. Just be careful with the negative signs. Yes, please. Thank you. All right, I see some answers coming up. That's good. Give it a try. So that's how you know it, whether you did it correctly or not. If it is a mistake, it's not a problem. We can fix it. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. Good. So the number 7. All right, Sakit, I don't see your answer. Please put it on there. Okay, so obviously we can see that very carefully. There's a negative distribution, no parentheses there. So you're going to multiply these two. So you can get negative 3 plus 6i, and then plus 5 plus 3i minus 8i. Okay, now combine the real parts. So that's going to give me 2. And then combine the imaginary parts, this. So that's 9 minus 8, that's a 1. So that's plus 9. Okay, that's for the practice. I want to make sure like you guys are good to go. Now, same way we did the adding and subtract, and now we can do multiply too. Multiply. So as a multiply, you need to be very careful with this. Let's say if I write a one question, simple ones, 4i times negative 2 minus 8i. If I want to multiply this, just like a normal multiplication, you distribute that. So 2 times 4 is negative 8i. And then that's going to be a minus. And then 4 times 8 is 32. But I times I is I square. Okay? Be careful with that I square. But again, what's the I square value is? I go up. I square value at the beginning I give you That's a -1. So we're going to use that -1 in terms of the I square. So you're going to get 8i minus 32 times -1. Does that make sense? It's really important that you guys are understanding this. So double negative is positive. That's going to be -8i plus 32. Or I can write it 32 minus 8i. This is the best way for me. Okay. This is the multiplication. Good to go? Okay. So let's give a practice on the multiplication. Just for a little bit practice. So that we're good to go with these. Okay, let me put it up here. Saket, when is your last day for the winter break? Saket, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, when is your last day for the winter break?
What?
When is the last day for the winter break?
31st, I think. We.
I mean, like when is your school last day? Is it this Friday or the 22nd or something? Okay. All right, awesome. Just continue this one, these two questions, guys. Practice these two and tell me what you get, because I want to make sure you guys are totally good to go with this. Yeah, I see some answers coming up. That's good. Make sure you guys are getting familiar with these multiplying with the i's and I squares and all those things. Okay, it's good, good. All right. All right, number 13. See, make sure you guys, everybody's trying, okay? It's important that everybody's trying so that way you don't get any mistakes. I mean, it's okay to get a mistakes. I'm not worried about the mistakes, but again, I want you to make sure you guys are doing doing well on this. Okay, so let's do the distributive property. Eyes on the screen, everybody. So -2 times 4 is -8. And then this times this is -2i. And then this 2, -4i. And then finally these two, -i squared. Good so far? Now you can do this combined like terms. These two are like terms. That's -8 minus 6i. I squared value is -1. So that's going to be, simply you can write a +1. You don't need to do a lot of math. That's just one explain. So I'm going to show you steps, but you can just skip the steps. 6i plus 1. So that gives you -7 minus 6i. Okay, just be careful with if you simply miss one, and you're going to make something wrong in there. So let's try the 15 also. I see some answers for 15. Good. Good, Bhavani, that's good. So you're multiplying all of these, okay? Be careful with that. So just to give you a hint, 7i times 3i, that's going to be what? 21i squared. I squared means -1, so it's going to be -21 times -8. minus 6i. Then just distribute it. Okay. All right. Good. Good, good, good. Just keep trying, guys. Keep trying. Just it's okay if you get a mistake. It's not a big deal. Because math meant to be get mistakes and then you fix and then you get better. But if you don't try it, you're not going to get mistakes and then you're not going to get better. Okay, let's try one more question and then we can jump onto the what type of questions you get them on the test. Let's try number 29 too. Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. Have your calculators next to you, guys. Always important whenever you can join to the math class. Have your calculators next to you, and then you work on those. Use those calculators right away, because it is important that you use your calculators wisely. And I think I was to talk to one of the other students too. And one time, not this year though, I think last year or year before, and the kids wasn't exposed to the calculators, and they were doing some of the questions, trigonometry, finding the sine inverse and cosine inverse functions. They know how to do the math. They're totally good to go. But since they don't know how to use the calculators, some of them got mistakes. And according to our district policy at that time, we can't give them retakes. And then a lot of the kids do got less scores just because they don't know how to use calculators. So I want you to guys be familiar, whatever the calculator you're going to take to this test. So you should be knowing all the digits by heart, like, I know it, type it very quickly. So that saves a couple of seconds. That's more than enough. Okay. All right, awesome. So let's move on for one of the test question. So we did the basic questions, and they may not give you those type of questions, but let's work on the test questions now. Let's see, Tanish, can you please read when this question pops up? Can't hear you. Can you guys hear Tanish or no?
Oh, we can hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. Given that I equals square root of -1, which of the following is equal to 1 over I cubed?
Okay, so which of the following is 1 over I cube is same as the ABCD? Which one could be? And these are the questions you see them on the test. Okay, put your answers there. I want you to see if you get a mistake. It's okay, but I want you to see Who's getting it, who's not getting it. Just try it. Put them on and put your answer on the chat box. And we know that I is radical square root of -1. We know that. But now we need to find out what's going to be the 1 over I cubed. Which one is that equal to? I'm still waiting on, let's see, more answers. Thank you, Mihira. Okay, all right. Give it a try, give it a try. I'll go over this problem anyways, but I want you to give it a try. Okay. That's strange. Okay. Saket, what is your answer? I don't see any. Okay. All right, let's see. Eyes on the screen. Okay. So eyes on the screen. So 1 over I3 or I cube, right? So we want to find out what is the value that is equals to one of these. So what you can do, 1 over I cube. So I cube, I can kind of like break it down. So that makes it easy for me. I can write I cube is I squared times I. Agree with me? This is good, right? I squared times I. Now, I squared times I squared is -1. So this is -1. So that's going to be -1 times I, or basically that. Or what I'm going to do to make it math easy, I'm going to multiply the I on both sides, on top and bottom. So that what happens is in the bottom again, -I squared again, I times I squared is -1. So that negative of -1, and on top is positive I. So that's +1. So it's like anything over a +1, it's a simple positive. So it's going to be I. So the right answer is A. Okay. Yeah, these questions seems pretty simple, but they could be sometimes troublemaking. So make sure you guys are good to go with these questions. Good to go. Let's do one practice question before we move on to the next models. Let's see. Let's do some SAT questions, level questions. Okay, Bhavani, can you please read this question for us?
Which of the following expressions are equal to 2 plus 2i squared?
Just like we did at practice, and this is the SAT question they can ask you this tempo. Let's give it a try and see what you guys get it. Good, good. That's good. Okay, come on, I need to see some answers. So you got to pick up the speed also. Speed is important because, you know, it's like for the state exams, you have the whole day, right? And teachers, we give them like whole day so you can finish it up in the test, but this test is limited time. So limited time, you want to get it done. That means you have to bring the speed. Okay. Okay. All right. A couple of you guys answered. That's good. Okay. Eyes on the screen. Okay. Put your pencils down, eyes on the screen, or pens down so that we don't miss it. So 2 plus 2i square is basically 2 plus 2i times 2 plus 2i. Are you with me? Because square means, like, let's say if you write a 3 square means 3 times 3. Just like that. And then you just do the FOIL method. 3 times 2 is 4. Plus 4i. Plus 4i. Plus 2i square. Okay. Now combine like terms. That's 8i. I square is -1 and 2 square is 4. So that's a -4. Then this is +4. So it gets you 8i. Good to go. So try to maximize your speed. It's just like speed is really, really important. Whatever you can, you know, so you want to get rid of the steps, you can get rid of the steps, but you to, you know, speed up your process. It's really important. Good to go. Now, the next question is, what could be the value of the b? When you square this, you're gonna get the 80 plus 18i. 80 plus 18i. Okay, let's give a try on this one. What could be the v value when you square that? So it could be equals to this. And what is the other values out there? Let's try the next one. That one is important though. Number 3 is really important. Guys, keep trying, keep trying. Okay, I see some answers there. That's good. That is good. And then there will be one question on the I all the time, and then easy question from this lesson only. You know, they always get you 2 questions from this lesson, but one will be super easy, and the other one will be a little bit challenging. Okay. Oh, this is another one. Seen this one a couple of times. Very good, very good. Those are giving the answers. Pretty good, guys. Keep up, keep up. Got to pick up the speed, though. Pick up the speed. Try the next question if you're done with the number 3. Okay, see some answers coming up. That's good. Okay. All right. Let's check your answers one more time. Check your answers. Strategy. Okay, thank you. All right, that's good. Okay, that's good. All right. Good, 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 good. Come on, rest of you guys need to put the answers too. Tanish, I need to see answers. And Saket, some answers. It's important that you guys participate. That way I know, like, what you guys know and you don't know. Again, at the end of the day, this test is for you guys. You need to get the best scores. I'm just here like your soccer coach or basketball coach. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna play the game for you guys. You're the one who's gonna play the game. But I'll just show you the techniques and get you ready for the test. But if you don't do practice, it's not gonna get there. Okay. All right, so eyes on the screen. So number 3, all right, now let's look at the number 3. Obviously, so you're gonna square, that means it's gonna multiply it. So if you remember the a plus b whole square formula, you can apply that one, which is going to be a squared plus b squared plus 2ab, 2bi should be 80 plus 89. So, but I squared is -1. So this is going to be a -1. So b squared minus 1 plus 2bi equal 80 plus 89. So you might be thinking like, how do I solve this one? Okay. And from there, you might stuck with like, what do I do? And then how you solve this b. But one thing, pay attention to this. You really don't need to worry about that much because they're asking for the b value. So instead of b squared minus 1, I can take this. See, this is the real part equals to this. Or you can take this equals to this. Okay, when their numbers are equal, so you can take one of them. So I'll take this one easier, because if I take these two, 2b is 18. 2b is 18, so the b is 9. That's it, done. Or you may ask like, hey, Mr. Rama, what if I take this one? Am I gonna get right that same answer? Let's check it. So it's gonna be b squared minus 1 is 80, and then add 1, so b squared is 81, and then b is plus or minus 9. But, obviously 9 works, so you can take the positive 9. Okay, so the positive 9 out there, that's the answer for that. Again, if you don't understand, please ask me. Okay, all right. Yes, Mira, please.
So would the tip for this one be just to divide the 89 by 2?
That's correct.
That's
correct.
Okay.
Again, if let's say this the same question comes under the test, this is what you need to do. Oh, I forgot to give you that technique. Thank you for reminding me. Just like, okay. So let's say this question comes under the test. How do I take care of this one? This is what you got to do. You need to know the formula of a plus b whole square, which is a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. So when you see this 2ab, or you can see a squared plus b squared, that's going to be a real part because you're squaring the ia square, that's going to be a -1. So you really don't need to worry about that. All that I need to do is like 2ab part. So the 2ab, that's going to be, let's say if I'm going to write it down formula here, a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. So this is the imaginary part. That's what all I needed. So that's going to be a 2ab means b, and then I, which is 18i. So I can just, you can compare that, then b is going to be 9. Done. This is the technique for this question. Okay, remember this. Super fast. Okay, not even worry about it. So this one is like you have to write it down, all those things. But again, once you remember that 2ab formula, all you have to just, 2ab, 2a, and then b, and that is, which is 18i, and then 2b is 18, and b is 9. Done. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, good. And the next question is, this question is easy, but 50% of the kids is going to do mistakes. 50 of them. Why? They, first of all, they look at, subtracting. I'm subtracting 2, 2 plus 4i minus this. But they forget to read carefully. It says from. That changes entire thing. Okay? So you're taking this from this. So that means your setup is -5 plus 6i minus 2 plus 4i. That is how they set up these questions to get a lot of the kids to do mistakes. You got to be smart, and then you got to pay close attention to the question. So now it's going to be, and then some of the kids, they forget to distribute this one. They just do the math, but again, they forget to distribute. It's going to be -2 minus 4i. And this is -5 plus 6i. -2 minus 2, that's -7. 6 minus 4, that's plus 2i, not minus 2i. So a lot of kids, they fall for this. Okay, so yeah, it says these questions are not hard, but it's tricky. Okay, let's see. Good. So far we covered that one. Good. Because when I put these questions, I have different test questions with me. That's what I pull it. So that way you're getting the best for the getting ready for the test. Okay, so that is totally good. Okay, so the next one, let's see. Oh, maybe this one. So we get a good practice, and then we can jump onto the division part. So once we learn the division, it's pretty much is done. So I want to make sure you guys are good to go before you go there. Others, can you please read the question when it's up? Okay. Come on. This way. What the equals to? Really? Taking forever. Okay.
If b plus I is equal to 3 minus I, what is the value of b?
Okay, thank you. Give me 1 second. I can solve this in a diff. I cannot even see. Did it show up on you guys? Oh, strange. Did it will not give me a super big trouble? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's try this one. So b times 3 plus I is equals to 3 minus I. So what could be the b value? Let's give it a try, see what you guys think. Okay, I see some answers coming up. That's good. Thank you. Okay. All right, the answers. Okay, so this question may be a little bit difficult. Just hold on to this one because I want to teach, I want to teach you some concept on this one. I want to teach some concepts so that way it makes more sense to you. Let's see if anybody is close to this. Let's see. Switesh, what do you think? You are trying this one? Or are you stuck? Okay, all right. Yeah, let's take it. Yes. Yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, guys, in case if that question is a little challenging, because I know it's going to be challenging because I need to teach a little bit more before you answer that question. But let's try the number 1. Okay, the next question up there. You can hold on to the other one, but let's try work on this one. Mihira, can you please read this one, number 1 on the bottom?
If a plus bi equals 1 plus 2i times 3 minus 4i, where a and b are constants and I equals root -1, what is the value of a plus b?
Yeah, so they gave you a plus bi, and then 2, what do you call the complex numbers are given, they're multiplying. So just like we learned the multiplication, you multiply them and simplify them, and you're going to find the a and b, and you find the a plus b. Okay, let's give a try on this one. We can hold on, and then next class we can learn the division part, and also we can talk about the complex conjugates. Okay, all right, eyes on the screen. Let's do the one so that we can get you some break. Okay, so the first one is just the multiplication, right? So let's do multiply. Good, good. I see some answers. Good job, Catherine. Nice. So let's distribute it. That's going to be 1 times 3 is 3, and then 1 times -4i, and then 2 times that's a 6i. Then multiply these two, that's going to be a -8i squared. But again, I'm writing, but you don't need to write these steps. So it's going to be plus 2i plus 8. So that's going to be 7 plus whatever it is. It's going to be 11, and then plus 2i. So that means this is a plus bi form. So the a is 11 and b is 2. But the question is asking a plus b, which is 13. Just 11 plus 2, 13. Okay, that's what you need to give the answer for this one. Good to go? Making sense, everybody? So for today's lesson is like complex numbers. What these complex numbers are, and that going back and forth, and just making sure all the rules. And then in this one we have complex conjugates and then division parts. Those are the questions that we need to focus more up for the for the test. But if you go to the pre-calculus, or maybe some of you guys are in algebra 2, then you have more in depth. Just like I showed you, I was teaching another girl last month before hour. So they're doing a lot of the writing equation, roots, and all those things, complex roots and all those things. But you don't need this one for the SAT. But just all you need is like understanding of the basic parts, making sure you understand them and making sure you what is that required, and then you solve them, and then it should be good to go. So in the next class, we can talk about it more, about the division parts and how do we take care of those, and then we can do that up there. Okay. Alrighty, guys, take a little break. I'm gonna pause this one. Take a 10 minutes break. Okay. So the next part, we continue from the writing part. So there are a couple of the other ones that you need to understand, which one is what is the meaning of itself. Okay. So the one important thing we can say, morale is like M-O-R-A-L-E, which is noun. And then this is another one is M-O-R-A-L, moral. So this is also a noun. Okay. This first one is a morale, and then this one is a moral. So what's the difference between? What's the morale means? Just put them in the chat box. What do you guys think? What is the morale means? Okay, that's good. I see some. That's good. That's correct. So it's a basically shared enthusiasm and dedication to a goal. So that's a team spirit, basically team morale. All right. So there we go. Good, good. So this is the shared enthusiasm. So you can say the team's morale was high. So basically that's a good example to say that one. How about the moral? Moral. Ethics, that's correct. Ethics, or you can say good behavior, okay? Lesson or the principle about good behavior. Okay, so the story had a nice moral. So that's a good way to put it out there. The story has a nice moral, and the team morale was high. So these are the two words. It's pretty close. They're going to be, you might have some, you need to avoid those diction errors on this one. Okay, so the similarly, and then a few more words, and then we can move on to the next one. So the next one we can see P-R-E-C-E-D-E. This is verb, and the next one is P-R-O-C-E-E-D, seed, which is also verb, and the other one is the P-R-O-C-E-D, seeds. This is noun. Okay, so if you look at it, these are all same, sound same, but again, the word's meaning it's different. So the first one is precede. This one is basically to come before. The thunder is always precede by lightning. Okay, so it's come before. Come before. Okay, so that's the precede. How about this one, proceed? What is that one? What do you guys think? Put them in the chat box. Proceed. Okay, there we go. Also, we proceeds is basically go on. Okay, that's go on. So what does that mean? Like usually, like something like proceed. Yeah, proceed with. Oh, my internet is unstable. Guys, if you cannot hear me clearly, please let me know. Some reason it says internet is unstable, but if I'm not clear, please let me know. Okay. So proceed with the task. So proceed means like go ahead, all right, go on. So that's what it is basically, the proceed. That means proceed with the task. And then the last one is proceeds. This one is the, you're calculating, or yeah. Okay, thank you. Please stop me, okay? In case if you can't hear me, please stop me, because it's some reason my internet is going crazy today, or just right now. Okay, so proceeds, it's the funds received from a venture. Okay, like for example, you did some raffle, you got some money out of that. Those are called proceeds. Okay, funds from a venture. Funds received from venture. So that's the proceeds. Okay, so be careful with these little things. You need to be very, very careful with them, because the words sounds like the same, but again, those meanings and choose a word or noun based on that is going to change. And the other confusing one, I think, is you always worry about this one, is PRINCIPAL. This is now, and then the other one is the PRINCIPLE. This is also now. Okay, now let's look into these two and see what you guys think. Which one is the first one? Principal. Principal is basically the head of the schools. Okay, so the principal, whatever it is, yeah, school principal, that's right. So the first one is the school principal. Head of the schools, or if I say school principal. And the other one is the principal, PLE. This one is the, what do you guys think? Okay, I like that. Thank you for writing, giving you up. Good work. Yeah, write it down, guys. Type it in the chat box. You just participate, so that way you can, you put in your words out there, and then so that way you can see if something is different, then you know it. If it is same, that's always good. Okay. Yep. Foundations of something, I like that, and the set of rules. So, but again, principles is basically guiding rules. Yes, set of rules, or you can say guiding rules. Okay. So the principle of matter, or guiding rules, basically. Okay. Most important, what's first? Yeah. So those are the really important ones. You guys need to be very careful. And I think it's like in the last class, we covered a couple of them, and then this class, we covered a couple of them. So these are the ones mainly that you need to be, focus more carefully. I want to make sure you guys are good to go. How about we'll practice a couple of these, and that way we will know exactly which one to use. Okay, so let's do a few questions, and then we can move from this. Okay, let's see the 4 questions. I want you guys to put the answers in the chat box. Catherine, once it pops up, can you please read the first one?
Okay, the first one. Even the most trivial news seems to affect the stock price immediately.
So you guys put them in the chat box. Which one do you guys think is affect or effect? Okay, see some answers. That's good. Good, very good. See 2 different ones. So in this one is the effect is the right answer. That one is a good one. Okay, number 2, Mihira, can you please read the next one?
Even the most aggressive pesticides could not delete, remove, eradicate, abolish the beetles.
Okay. put the answers on that one. Let's see what you guys think. Good. Very good. That's correct. Good. Let's see. Because everybody try your answer. Like whatever you guys think is, you can put them up there and then we can check it. Because this is what it is. This is important that we need to know. Okay. So for the second one, it's eradicate. Okay. So eradicate is the best word for that. Next, number 3, Tanish, can you please read the number 3, please?
The morale of the troops was at an all-time low during the Christmas season.
Which one is moral or moral? Which one do you guys think? Okay, good, very good. Very good. Yeah, see, this is one of the reasons we need to be very careful reading those meanings carefully, you know? So if I look at it, the moral or morale of the troop was, you know, at an all-time low during at the Christmas. But again, if I go back here, so morale is like a shared enthusiasm, and then moral is a good behavior. So you need to see which one is going to be a good one of this one. So obviously, morale is the right choice for this case. Okay, so you got to be careful with these. That's the reason I gave you some list. So make sure you guys are spending some time looking at that list, and then make sure you study them too. Number 4, how about Bhavani? Can you please read number 4?
Number 4, that scarf really complements your outfit.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Put them in the chat box. Okay, very good. Few more. Okay. All right, so the number 4 is the complements and then complements. So that's, let's see that one. You guys, yep, very good. A lot of you guys did write correctly. That's correct. Good job. Complements. Okay, good work. Next one, let's see. Catherine, can you please read the 15?
Okay, Annie's project excelled, overshadowed, outscripted, exceeded, preceded all of our expectations.
So they're all kind of like we'll cover which one is the right ones to go with it. Write it down, and then you can just continue 15 and 16 and 17, and maybe I'll just answer it in a minute. Okay, answer this one, and then we'll go. Okay. All right, so that's good. That's good. I see some answers. Let me go over these answers, and then we can talk about one of the questions that we did it before. Let's see. So the 15 exceeded. This one, and then 16 correlated. Converted. Okay, structure must be, yeah, converted. That's good. I like that. Good job. Then the last one is the inequity or inequity. So obviously this would be inequity. Okay. So going back to the one of the question here, one of the students asked me, you know, so which one is the best one? Like for example, question number 2. So in the question number 2, we can see that when even the most aggressive pesticides could not delete, remove, eradicate, and then abolish the beetles. So in this situation, eradicate means if you're kind of like destroy completely, that means take away from its roots. So that's the morale, and then the eradicate means. But if you say remove, use it for the thoughts or feelings. Okay, so that's for the remove, like, you know, discard or put aside or set aside, especially something like abstract, then you use the remove. But if it is something, you know, so it's like, you know, destroy completely, then you can use the eradicate. So pesticide, you know, so, you know, the most of the aggressive pesticide could not delete or maybe somehow could completely destroy. So that's the reason we use the eradicate in this case. Remove, you can say it like, yeah, any thoughts or feelings, then yes, you can say, you can use that remove in that case. Okay, making sense? All right. Good. Yeah. All right, so the next one, let's see, since we are good to go with this. Let's see. Ooh, cool. Alrighty, so the next one we can talk about the any errors in the idioms. Okay, all right. So the next one is the avoid any errors in the idioms. So the next notes on this one, or the lesson on this one is avoid errors in idioms. So whenever you see some idioms, and then you want to be very careful with them, like, you know, which one I'm going to use on it and which one I cannot. Let's look at some sentences here so that we can get an idea. And then how can we, you know, think what does that means to avoid the errors in the idioms means. Let me put it up there. And what does an idiom means? What do you guys think? Put them in the chat box. What do you guys think? What does the idiom means? Okay, no problem. No stress. Okay, let's see. Saket, can you please read this question, or the read on the screen, please?
If you want to make friends, you should go in the pony. If you want to make friends, you should go in on the pony.
So what's the difference between these two sentences? Like, what is the difference between? Okay, so that's what we're looking. So for example, if I look at it, so if you look at it, these two are, we can call as the semantic idioms. Okay, so they give a very different advice, basically, if you look at it carefully. So if you want to make friends, you should go on in the party. And then if you want to make some friends, you should go in on the party. So it's basically, if you look at it, like, you know, when you tell someone to go on in, you're giving him or her basically casual permission to enter. Okay, so in case if you're saying go on in, means you're just giving a casual permission to enter it. So the sentence A is basically, it's casually interesting yourself into a social situation and can make some more likable. Okay, but if you look when let's say, and when you say someone go in on, okay, that means you're asking him or her to contribute some money to the effort. Okay, so in sense B, if you look at it, it's carefully, it says folks are like, somebody is throwing the party. Would you like to, would you like to more if, if you want to put some, if you want to pitch into the party? You know what I'm saying? So, as cinematic idioms, there's commonly a phrase with established meaning like push, throw, or on fire, see the light, or going on. So it's though all different types of the, idioms out there. Like, so you're using something in a different, idioms are basically, instead of like, what you can say, using a different words in terms of saying them. But what is the errors in idioms are basically wrong perception. Wrong prepositions, basically, we can say. Okay, so the wrong preposition errors we can see. Like some idiomatic phrases, what you can say, let's say the essential meaning, like breaking up, or breaking down, or breaking in, okay, or breaking out. So these are all have a different meaning, even though they're just basically, they're all started with a breaking, but they have a different meaning for each of them. Okay, so breaking up, or breaking down, or breaking in, or breaking out. So they're all different activities. Okay, so when it comes to the idiomatic phrase, the standard parallel construction, we just talked about in the last couple of sessions before, it's basically the preposition, basically it matters of the convention. Like for example, the Thai food is very different than Chinese food, or contains some systematic or synthetical idioms, basically. Okay, so basically when you write in these idioms, like for example, breaking up, breaking up, so you guys know what is that. Again, breaking down, or breaking in, and breaking out. So there are different activities based on the preposition that you're using. And again, different different idioms that you're going to use it based on the topic that you guys are talking to it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's look at it. Which one is the correct sentence in this case? Let's see. Let me put it up here. Okay, let's see. How about let's see. Tanish, can you read the first, or like these three sentences?
Effective therapy depends both on consistent adherence to the protocol as well as regular recalibration of the medication dosage. D. Effective therapy depends on both on consistent adherence to the protocol and regular recalibration of the medication dosage. E. Effective therapy depends on both consistent adherence to the protocol and regular recalibration of the medication dosage.
So which one you guys think? So look at all three, and which one do you guys think is the correct sentence up here? Look at it, read them carefully, and make some notes, and tell me which one do you guys think sentence is think it is it's the best answer for this. Okay. Good. Good work. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Good job. Right. So let's look at it, each sentence up here, so that way we can get an idea which one could be the best answer here. So the first one, if I look at it, sentence C, it uses the word uses the word is both. Okay, so which can either followed by a simple plural noun like both legs or both kinds, or a prepositional phrase, both of them. Okay, or be part of a standard parallel construction. Like you remember, like we talk about this one, like both X and Y. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the construction up here. Again, at this now, if I look at it, so it is a syntactical idiom, and that means like a rigid way of phrasing the relationship between the ideas. Okay, but also if you sentence C, if you can see both X as well as Y. Okay, it is non-idiomatic. Okay, so it's a little bit off on that one. But if I look at a D here, and this one is idiomatic, but non-parallel, if you look at it, okay? X is a prepositional phrase, but Y is it's a noun phrase, if you look at it, okay? So in that case, if you look at it, sentence E is the best answer because it's both idiomatic and parallel, okay? This one is the both idiomatic and the parallel. Okay, so this is the best answer out of all three of them. Okay, good work. All right, see next one. And sometimes you can see some superfluous prepositions, and you need to eliminate those too. Okay, so sometimes you see some extra preposition. Like in informal speech, like let's say if you're talking to somebody and then sometimes you use it twice. Okay, so you need to eliminate those. Like for example, I'm gonna write it down so that way it's get an idea. So this next one is like we need to eliminate superfluous preposition. Superfluous. F-L-O-U-S. Prepositions. Okay. So what does this mean? Is like, for example, in general, common language or informal language, you can say climb up. Climb up. I mean, climbing means is already you're going up. Again, you're adding climb up. You know, so you need to avoid those things. Like fall down. It's the same. It's a fall is the same as that one. Okay. And then fight against. So, and then you have to eliminate unnecessary prepositions, select those sentences of them. Okay. So like, for example, so that way it sounds properly, or it sounds better. Okay. Like, for example, if I write let me write a sentence here and see if you guys think if you have something that we need to eliminate. Okay. Let's see. Let's say you don't want to miss out on all the fun. Okay, so in this one, what do I need to eliminate? What do you guys think? Put them in the chat box. What do I need to eliminate? Put them in the chat box. What can I eliminate on this one? While you work on that one, I'll put another one. Okay, good. Okay. So yeah, so definitely, I think on the first sentence, you don't want to miss out on all the fun. So obviously, if I can eliminate, you know, out on across this out, you don't want to miss all the fun. So that makes more sense, right? You don't want to miss all the fun. So that is totally good. You don't need to out on also in there. Now on the second one, what do you guys think? What should I eliminate on this one? Okay. Okay, what else? What can I eliminate on this one? Good, very good. Read the question carefully, see if you see any idiomatic, just you want to, superfluous prepositions, you want to eliminate them. You can just, you can see which one, which one is that, and then you can take out. Okay, everybody's thinking still. Kisake, thank you, Mihiro. What can we reduce or what can we take it out? Okay, Saket, can you tell me why did you cross out the over?
I just feel like it's unnecessary because if we remove it, still like the sentence still like means the same thing.
That's correct. It is redundant. Also, it's out there. Okay, so I think you can eliminate the over, so then it'd still be good. Her superior skills and strength help her dominate her opponents. That's totally good. We don't need that over there. This is redundant. That's correct. Okay, so those are the things you have to eliminate them when you come to the writing test. Okay, that's good. Let's see what else. Okay, so before we move on to the next one, like the correct use of active voice and passive voice. All right, just we got to find out. We got to figure out for the next class. I think I did mention to you guys, 25th, I want to give you guys a break. So we can do it 17th and 18th. Is that still good to go? 17th and 18th, it's the same time. I want to keep it the same time so that way you don't get confused on it. 17th and 18th, I'm going to put it out there. Yes, okay, good. Put a yes so that way you're good to go, because that way I can give you a break on 25th. You don't have a class on 25th. So you can enjoy your long weekend. And also the first, I know January 1st, no class, because month of January, we have 5 Sundays. So I can give the break on first, so you have a long break, but I can get you some practice tests you guys can practice on. Okay, so remember that, and then I will add a session on 17th, Saturday 17th, and same time. So that way you don't get confused with the timings. If I change time, like, oh, when is the time? So it's the same time, but Saturday and Sunday next week, we're going to have two sessions continuously. And I will send an email just to send, kind of like remind you guys, but you know, just please put it in your phones so that way you guys know when is the next classes are. Okay. So we have a class on 17th, which is Saturday, and then 18th on Sunday. We're going to take both classes. That way we can skip on 25th. And obviously the first we don't have a class, and because on month of January, we still have 4 weeks. So we should be good to go 8, 15, 22, and 29. So we still have 4 classes. So that way you have plenty of the break, relax, and then, but if you want to do more practice tests, just shoot me an email. I have plenty of practice tests here. You guys can sit down and, you know, one place, and you can, since you have plenty of the break, so you can work on those practice tests, and I can send you the key so you can look at your answers. So we can do that. But I want to, you know, so everybody says yes. So we'll go with that. So 17th, we have I mean, next Saturday, we have a class, guys. Okay. Saturday and Sunday, both days. Awesome. That's good. That's one thing is down. That's totally good. Okay, just put them on the reminder, so because otherwise we normally forget things, and me especially, I forget. So otherwise, I add them on the session. So we should be good to go. Okay. All right. Thank you. The next one, and the next important technique or the tip is you have to know how to use the active voice and passive voice. I guess as you guys already know what is active voice and passive voice, or how to use active and passive voice. So let's see, let's look at one quick question so that we can get an idea. Let's see. Strategic, please read this one when it comes out. Let me see, put it out there.
Which is better? A, I broke the paddle. B, the paddle was broken by me.
Okay, now look at these two sentences, and there's active voice and passive voice, and which sentence is the better one in this case? Okay, I see some answers. That's good. So both of them are basically the same meaning, or it's conveying the same message, but in a different voices. Okay, so the first one is active voice. The second one is the passive voice. So the active voice, the subject is the actor of the action, but in the passive voice, it's not. Okay, so it is, yeah, you guys, good, that's correct. Excellent. So you guys already got the answer, okay? And most of the declarative statements, okay? If you have a declarative statements in which actor is known, the active voice is clear and more direct than the passive voice. Like the ball was kicked by me, or I kicked the ball. You know, so in this one, obviously you guys put it on, I broke the paddle. This is, you know, we know the actor. So then go with the active voice. Okay. So then that is the active voice you can use up there too. Okay. Let's see. Next, let's put one more and then we're good to go. Good job, guys. Because a lot of these we talk, but again, if you don't remember, or maybe if you don't practice, because I'll send this one, the recording, and please, you know, whenever you get a chance, just go back and then read through it or go over. So that way you're good to go with the next classes. I don't know. If the practice is the main key. Just like I know you guys, a lot of you guys are doing some, you know, outdoor sports like soccer, basketball, so tennis. But you guys know already, without the practice, we can't do anything. Same thing with this. Okay, good. Okay, Catherine, can you please read this one for us? Good, good, good.
Okay, which is better? Henry ate all of his steak, but his vegetables were uneaten, or Henry ate all of his steak, but none of his vegetables?
Okay, let's see if you guys answered that one already. That's good. So in the sentence C, if you look at it, the first clause is active, but the second one is passive. Okay, this is not only a violation of law of parallelism, okay, but also, you know, subtle evasion, yeah. So who failed to eat the vegetables, basically, who failed to eat the vegetable. But sentence D is more parallel and also clear, okay? So you got to be very careful. Law of parallelism is so much important because all the notes of what we had in previously, you can always look at it. So the law of parallelism comes more often, making sure it's parallelly is going out there. So the first one you have the active wise, or the first clause is active, but the second one is the passive. So it doesn't go along with it. Okay, so that's the violation basically. But in the second one, it's very, it's a parallel and also clear. And then you guys answered that one correctly. And Henry ate all of his steak, but none of his vegetables. That's good. Okay, that's totally good. Okay, awesome. So that sounds pretty good. And then we looked into some active voices and passive voices and all these things. So you can just check on them more too. But practice, guys, just practice. Okay. So I'm gonna put some lessons and also maybe put some practice paper. But as I mentioned at the beginning, this week, if you guys have finals in school, as a teacher, I know it's more important because sometimes it's 15% or 20% of your grade depends on. So I don't want you to mess it up that one. So focus on that. But once you're done with the test on Friday, Friday night, then work on all your work for the SAT. Then you should be good to go. Okay. Okay. Remember, we have a class on Saturday and Sunday next week. Alrighty, guys. So we'll stop right here. Enjoy your rest of the weekend. Okay. I'll see you guys next Saturday, coming Saturday. Okay. All right, guys. Take care then. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.